open this screen door? It's the police department. Can you open this? Hey, Sacramento Police Department, come to the door.
Listen, we're gonna kick the door down, and we don't want to do that.
Come to the door right now. Open the door.
I'm a baby.
Open the door.
You're not a baby if you're not listening.
Open the door. Come outside.
Come outside right now.
Who is here?
You're going
Who is here? There's another one in here.
No, you don't get to go and hide and turn off the lights. That's not how this works. Okay, but you're going to be detained in handcuffs because you're not listening.
That was the horrific body cam footage of Sacramento police handcuffing a 10-year-old girl in her pajamas during a probation search. Now, this video was obtained as a part of an audit of complaints against these officers, according to the city's Office of Public Safety Accountability. Now, let's get into what led the events leading up to the little girl being handcuffed. From KCRA, in the case of the 10-year-old girl, officers had gone to a home to conduct a probation search related to a stolen car and a firearms investigation involving a, quote, known gang member, police said. Upon announcing themselves, they saw people inside, but no one would answer the door. Officers saw a person running through the house, turning off the lights, according to the police account. That person came to the door and was immediately detained. The officer asked how old they were, realized the person was only 10, and immediately unhandcuffed them. Now, that is the officer's account of what happened. I want to be clear. You saw the video with your own eyes. You know that you could tell that that was a little girl. I'm sorry, you don't have to wait till she tells you she's 10. That's a little girl. She refers to herself as a baby, and then they tell her, you're not a baby if you're turning the lights off. So we won't view you as an innocent child if you do something that we deem to be disrespectful towards us, or just when we think you're not sufficiently complying with us. You don't get to be a child anymore. Now we're going to treat you like an adult and be disrespectful to you. Now, Police Chief Kathy Lester addressed the handcuffing of the girl during a city council meeting. That's what she had to say. From KCRA, Sacramento police had said in a response to the audit that the situation lasted 30 seconds and the officer had reasonable and articulable concerns for his safety, which justified the lawful detention. Lester said during the meeting, there is no circumstance where it's okay to handcuff a 10-year-old girl regardless of race. I'm sorry, so which is it? I mean, reasonable concerns for his safety from a 10-year-old who's sobbing and wearing her pajamas? I mean, if that's a concern for your safety, then you're a coward and you should be a police officer. If a 10-year-old girl makes you concerned for your safety, maybe you're not cut out to be a police officer. Or maybe that's exactly the type of people that they like to have as police officers. Now, City Inspector General Dwight White oversaw the body cam footage at the city council meeting and gave his conclusive analysis on the handcuffing. This is for the Sacramento Bee. She should have never been handcuffed in the first place, White told the council after the video was done playing. This will do lifelong trauma. A racial component did obviously play a role there. If this girl was a different race, she would not have likely been handcuffed by these officers. Now, the audit that's been conducted is just one of many unlawful searches and seizures on the grounds of systemic racial biases from Sacramento Bee. The finding on handcuffs was one of about a dozen recommendations the first of its kind audit found. It revealed systemic problem of officers engaging in a pattern of unreasonable stops, searches, and seizures violating community members' Fourth Amendment right, specifically Black and Latino residents. It included 109 complaint cases of improper search and seizure from June 2020 through June 2023. Now, Police Chief Lester agreed with parts of the audit, though she didn't agree with the finding based on racial bias that it was systemic. Now, Jessica, I mean, we've seen so many studies that say that young Black girls are not presumed to be innocent. They are assumed to be much older than they are. This is obviously, I mean, they're exactly right. If this was a little white girl, they weren't going to handcuff her.
Yeah, I mean, the kid was in a onesie. It was very obviously a child. I have a similar onesie, but this was a child sleeping in a onesie. And it's very obvious that this wasn't an adult to anyone that I think would watch this body cam footage. And so the fact that they blame this child, this literal 10-year-old, for hiding and turning off the lights, what are you trained to do as a young girl in the United States? From the time you can talk, basically, you're taught to hide when there are strange men around. Why is that? because it turns out strange men don't treat you too well. And so you have to hide when someone's at the door, especially at nighttime. That's terrifying. My mother taught me that from the time I was a very young girl. How would any child know that there are police at the door and it's not someone trying to break in? It's not someone who's going to be unfriendly to you. You don't. And so the police acting like you should know who I am, you should know that you should comply with every order, to a child at night when you're just some figure at the door trying to get in, come on.